kitchen is Anna's kitchen, but it's your kitchen and it's everybody's kitchen. If you want to try a place where the food's finger licking, just come on in to the Euro Kitchen. Anna's always cooking food that looks and smells so good. It's fine cuisine from all corners of the world, right in your neighborhood. It's Italian dinners and Portuguese fare. It's Francais food with a European flair. You can stop right there with all your channels switching and pull up a chair in the Euro Kitchen. Anna's Euro Kitchen.
Hi, I'm Anna Marie and welcome to this edition of Euro Kitchen. This is a great show all about zucchini. If you love zucchini, you are going to love these recipes. The first one that I'm going to make is one of my favorites. It's from my dear Aunt Carmela. It's zucchini casserole. It's the best casserole. It's so easy and it just tastes so, so good. The second recipe is going to be pineapple zucchini bread. So I'm going to start with the zucchini casserole. It comes out, if you have my cookbook, which I want to let you know is getting republished with more recipes, so that'll be coming out soon. I'm going to give you the ingredients. It's on page 23 if you have it. So this is Aunt Carm's zucchini casserole. You're going to start with 3 cups of zucchini. You want to dice them into bite-sized pieces. Then you want to do 2 cups of shredded carrots. You want to do 1 small onion chopped, 1 small jar of pimentos. You don't have to do a lot of pimentos. If you don't like them, put a few in, that's okay. And then you use a 1/4 cup of sour cream. And our secret ingredient is 1 can of undiluted cream of chicken soup. And then you use herb stuffing mix. You want to use about 4 ounces of it. And you'll use half of it in the recipe and then half on top to garnish, and a stick of butter. So I'm going to show you how easy this recipe is. Put this book aside. Okay. So, I love zucchini, and there's so many things you can do with it. You can stuff them, bake them, fry them, but this is such a great recipe. My Aunt Carmen and my Uncle Freddie lived in Pittsburgh, and unfortunately all my aunts and uncles have passed. My parents have passed, my grandparents, so all that's left is us cousins who are trying to keep the traditions going. And this was one of her favorite recipes. And when she gave it to me, you know, I just felt so blessed. I love having those handwritten recipes that my mom wrote to me or my aunts wrote to me. So just chop them into bite-sized pieces like that. And I already had shredded up my carrots. So it's easy if I slice them and then just stack them. And I usually just give them a quick cut twice. And then I turn them. And I do the same thing. I'm going to cut them again. And then cut them again. So there I have a whole stack, and they're all chopped up into bite-sized pieces. So what I'm going to do now is, she taught me to kind of pre-boil the vegetables so they're soft. So in here I have the zucchini and the carrots. I'm just going to take it over to the stove. I have some boiling water. Put back on the stove. Just a little bit of water. I just want to get my zucchini and my carrots kind of blanched so they're not really, really crunchy. Because they're going to bake in the oven at 350 for about 40 minutes, not that long. You can go about 40 to 50 at tops. And so what I'm doing here is I just want to get them sauteed in this water, just kind of blanching them. And I only put maybe like a 1/4 to 1/2 cup of water in here. So I'm going to let those sit on here for right now. And then what I'm going to do over here is I have a stick of butter. She used to call it oleo. I love that. So I'm going to put my stick of butter in my saucepan here. And then what I have here is just 1 small onion diced. So I chop this up. I'm going to put this in the pan with the butter and let it saute. So just get this all in. We're just going to kind of get this. You'll see the butter's in there. Just going to want to get those onions kind of translucent. So I'll put these back on the heat. But this is a great recipe because there's always, you know, if you are a gardener and you love zucchini, I always used to say I know when it's back to school time because I have tons of zucchini in my garden. And I would make zucchini pickles, like if you like bread and butter pickles. My mom taught me how to make use zucchini instead of the cucumber, so I'd make bread and butter pickles. And then my Aunt Carmela came up to visit one time with Uncle Freddie. She goes, Anna Marie, I'm going to give you a really good recipe. And this is so easy, and it's become a favorite. Like, I make it at the holidays. People request it. So you're going to see in this, you're going to have a lot of butter with the onions. You want that butter to be in the casserole. So it looks like it's a lot, but you'll see it's going to come in handy. Okay, and now over here, you'll see that I have these getting nice and sauteed. Just kind of want to blanch them. I'm not going to cook them all the way through, but this way I know that they're not going to be crunchy in the casserole. You could also microwave this if you want to, but I like to steam it so I can see how they're going. So what I'm going to do now is take the pan that I'm going to be using, okay, and I'm going to take my cream of chicken soup. I can't believe it. When she was giving me this recipe and she said the secret ingredient is a can of cream of chicken soup, undiluted. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, oh my gosh, cream of chicken soup to the rescue again. And then to that, you want to add a half a cup of sour cream. And I don't use any, like with this, it's not non-fat or fat-free. It's just regular sour cream. Just stir these. Okay, I'm going to turn the heat off on these, and my onions seem to be pretty good too, so I'm going to turn the heat off on those. But this is a quick recipe too. I just love this recipe, and you know what? It's great for kids too that don't like their vegetables. Wait till you try this casserole. It's so, so good. Okay, so in here, I have the sour cream and the cream of chicken soup. I just want to get that blended really good, and to that I'm going to add my pimentos. Get those all out. These give it a really good flavor. And I'm just going to get these mixed up. Just want to incorporate the sour cream and the cream of chicken soup, so you don't see any white from this left over. All right, that looks pretty good. Just get that mixed up really well. Okay, now to this, you'll see what'll happen. And you don't really have to grease your pans. This won't stick in it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to the stove, not over to the stove, sorry, over to the sink. I'm going to drain out the zucchini and the carrots. I've got my colander over here. Just going to grab my spatula. Make sure I get all those carrots and zucchini. Okay, perfect. Get all my water out of there. Okay. And now everything's going to be done in one pot. So I'm going to empty those in there. Okay. And now I'm going to take those onions that I was sauteing with the butter. These are going to go in here. Make sure you get all the butter and onions out of the pan. Okay. Just get that off of there. And I'm going to mix this up. And now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take half of the seasoned breadcrumbs. These you'll see at the store, like they're at Pepperidge Farm. They'll say seasoned breadcrumbs. Just going to put half of it. And what I want to do is get this all combined. Then I'm going to use the other half to put on top of it. You want to set your oven to 350 degrees, preheat it. Oh, it smells so good. I wish you could smell this. The onions and the zucchini. But like I said, just blanch them. Just blanch until they begin to get soft. They're not going to be mush or anything when you cook this, but it's so, so good. So it looks like that's all combined. Sour cream, cream of chicken soup, onions, carrots. And notice there's no seasoning in here. No salt, no pepper, because you've got those breadcrumbs that are seasoned. Okay, so everything on here. Just going to pat this down now. Okay, so it'll look like that. That's the carrots, the pimento, the sour cream, the cream of chicken soup, the breadcrumbs. Now I want to take my leftover crumbs. Sure, we couldn't call them crumbs. They're kind of bread cubes. Just want to put these over the top. And like I said, you want to bake this at 350 between about, watch your oven, like 35 to 50 minutes. It depends on how your oven is. I always put it on the middle rack. I'm just going to shake this. Okay, so we are going to now take this over to the oven, put this in. This will bake, and then we'll be right back. Hi, we're back. So this one I actually baked the night before, so it would be ready to show you, but this is so good, and I want to show you what it's like. I'm going to take some out of here. I love it. Look how good that is. So I'm just going to take a little bite to show you. But it's so nice. Look at everything's all together. You've got that thickness from the cream of chicken and the sour cream. Oh, this is so good. You're going to love this. This is delicious. If your kids don't like vegetables, they will love this. I mean, what's not love? Butter, sour cream, cream of chicken soup. It's perfect. So I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to start on my pineapple zucchini bread. So we'll be right back. Hi, we're back, and now we're going to make our pineapple zucchini bread. I'm going to give you the ingredients first. This is so good. You know, just zucchini bread by itself is great with warm butter and powdered sugar, but the twist of adding pineapple makes it even more moist. It is so good. So I'm going to give you the ingredients first. So you want to have 3 eggs, 2 cups of freshly shredded zucchini, 1 cup of vegetable oil, 1 can, 8 ounces of crushed pineapple, and you want to drain that out. You can save the juice for something else, but you don't want to put the juice in the recipe. 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of sugar. I know this sounds like a lot, but this is going to make 2 big loaves. 1½ teaspoons of ground cinnamon, 1 teaspoon of salt, 3/4 teaspoons of ground nutmeg, 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup of chopped nuts, and then you could add a cup of raisins if you want to. That's optional. I don't add the raisins to mine, but you know what? Golden raisins would be beautiful in here. So I'm going to show you what we're going to start with. I'm going to start by cracking 3 eggs. I like to keep my eggs at room temperature when I'm baking. So we're going to do 3 eggs. And I already finely shredded my zucchini. And after I let it sit in the bowl for a little bit, so I drain all the water out so it doesn't make your cake really heavy. Okay, so what I do with these is I get these beaten up. Just get them incorporated together, the yolk and the white. Okay, now to that, I'm going to add my shredded zucchini that I finely shredded. Just want to get this in with the egg. So this is 3 cups of shredded zucchini. To that I want to add 1 cup of oil. Remember, this is going to make 2 big loaves, so it sounds like it's a lot right now, but it's making 2 big loaves. This aside. Now to this, so right now I have my eggs, my oil, and my zucchini. I want to add my vanilla. I love zucchini. I love it sliced, dipped in egg and fried, you know, with some flour, and then I serve it with Roquefort dressing, blue cheese dressing. Love it. I just love zucchini. I love to stuff it. Sometimes I'll take the zucchini lengthwise and I'll slice it and I'll scoop out the middle. First you want to take them and boil them till they're soft. Scoop out the middle, and then I make like ground beef with the taco seasoning mix, and I add that with the zucchini that I scooped out, put it back in the boat, the zucchini boats, put them in the oven with some cheese on top. That's great. Now this is my pineapple that I drained. This is the crushed pineapple. It's over here. Get this all combined. But this is such a good take on zucchini bread. This is delicious. Just want to get this combined. That pineapple in there. It's so nice. You bite into it and you're like, wow, what's different about this? And it's the pineapple. Okay, so get this all in. And now to this, I'm going to add my chopped nuts. You could use any nut you want. I like to use walnuts though when I'm doing baking recipes. And remember, when you bring your nuts home, I put mine in the freezer. There's a lot of oil in the nuts. They're going to go rancid if you keep them in the cupboard. So you want to put them in your refrigerator. So now I'm getting this all combined. I've got my zucchini, I've got my nuts, I have eggs, my oil, and my vanilla. Okay, now we have all of our wet ingredients together. You're setting your oven at 350 degrees. Let me just check. I think this is for 40 minutes. You want to set the oven to 350 degrees. This is going to go about 50 to 60 minutes. You want to watch it, put it on the middle of the oven rack, and just make sure you don't want to get it brown on the edges. So sometimes you might have to turn your oven a little bit down. Everybody's oven's different. So I'm going to put that aside. And let me wipe this off. Okay, now what I do is, this is my flour. I keep all my dry ingredients separate from the wet. So I have 3 cups of flour. This is 2 cups of sugar, my baking powder, my baking soda, my nutmeg, and my cinnamon. So once I get all of the dry ingredients together, I'm going to show you what I do. My mom taught me this a long time ago. Because you know sometimes you bite into something, it's like, ugh, where did that salt come from? There's also a teaspoon of salt in here. I sift my dry ingredients all together before I put them in with the wet ingredients. Sometimes you'll see there could be like a little hard piece from the seasonings, and all I do is just sift it. Now watch, can you see the bottom in there? There's hard pieces. You don't want that in your bread. So I keep sifting and sifting, and this way I know that the salt is mixed in with the baking powder and the baking soda. See, there's more hard pieces left over. But I don't put this right into the recipe. I sift it first so that all of those dry ingredients are mixed really well. You got baking powder in there, baking soda. It's a very salty taste. And if you don't get that mixed in, you're going to taste that in the bread or whatever you're making. Okay, so this is sifted in. And look at everything that came out of that. That would have been in your bread. So let me put this aside. All right. So now, once I have it sifted, I still mix it just a little bit. And now I'm going to add the wet ingredients into here. Take my spoon. So I've got all my wet ingredients out now. And what I'm going to do is, these are my 2 baking pans. So you can see they're pretty deep in that. You're going to fill them just about halfway, and I spray them with coconut oil. You can spray them with Pam, whatever you want to do, but I like the coconut oil. So now I'm just going to mix, let me get these out of your way, Kelly. Just going to mix this up. I just want to incorporate the wet and the dry ingredients. I don't want to over mix it, but I just want to make sure that it's all combined in here. I can already start to smell the cinnamon and the nutmeg. You know, people are always saying, oh, what do you do with your zucchini? There's so many things you can do. Zucchini pickles. You can make bread and butter pickle with them. You can make dill pickles with them. You can make pickle chips if you slice them into the rounds. I jar them sometimes. Like if I go ahead and cook my zucchini and jar them and put them up for the winter. I just love zucchini. And you know what? These loaves you can make ahead of time and then put them in your freezer. You'll have something to hand out at Christmas time, or you know, give them to the teachers for school. But I love this. Okay, so just now going to make sure that all of this is combined in. I'm actually going to switch over to my spatula. Okay. Make sure you got all that flour from the bottom. See all that flour there? Get that all mixed in. But this smells so good. Your kitchen is going to smell so good when this is cooking. Alrighty. Give it one more good turn, and then it'll be ready. So this, it's pretty thick. See how that is? But everything's in there now. So now what I do, put these aside. I just take my coconut spray. And like I said, you can use Pam, you can do anything, but I love this coconut spray. So I just take my pans And these are really non-stick pans, but just to make sure that nothing sticks, I'm just going to spray them just lightly, just a little bit of a spray. You know, spraying these reminds me of when we used to tape eons ago, and Tom Case and Barbara Kosh were on the show. Tom used to say to me, "Why do you keep using that old pan? You need to get some new bread pans." I said, "I can't, that was my grandmother's." Then after I watched a couple shows, I'm like, you know what, he's right. I need to get some new pans. Okay, oops. Okay, let me get this one spread out. Here we go. Just when I get that put in there, let me do my other one. You want to have about the same in both pans. Okay, so when you get them in there, give them a couple taps. You want to get out any air bubbles. And now let's put the rest of this in. This was pretty heavy. Be careful with this. I didn't realize how heavy this bowl was. That's a lot of mixture in here. That's why you get 2 nice loaves out of this. Okay, that looks perfect. Okay, so let me spread this one out. Okay, so we've got zucchini, pineapple. We did our dry ingredients. We did our vanilla. We did our cinnamon and nutmeg and salt. So now I'm just going to tap these down, wipe this off. Okay, I'm going to go put them in a 350 oven. Just watch them for about 40 to 50 minutes. You can tell they're going to puff up a little bit. You just don't want to get them overcooked. Sometimes I take them out a little bit early, shut the oven off, put them back in, and just let them finish cooking. So we'll see you back in just a few minutes. Hi, we're back. So I wanted to show you our finished product. Look how beautiful this zucchini bread looks. So, you know, I gotta have just a little piece here. It was funny, I told my daughters I was taping, and little Stella's like, "Nona, you can come over anytime you're ready." And I said, "I will." Of course, they're like, "Mom, you can bring whatever you made on the show." Look how beautiful that is. You can see the nuts, you can see the zucchini, little chunks of pineapple. So we'll just put a little bit of butter on it and try it. Oh, I have such fond memories of this with my grandmother growing up. This is so good. Wait till you try this. The chunks of nut and the pineapple and real butter. This is so, so good. Sorry, I'm wiping on my apron. If my mom was alive, she would kill me for doing that. She always said, "Stop wiping your apron. Use your napkin." Okay, thank you so much for tuning in. And thank you so much for all the likes on our Facebook page. If you go to Anna Marie's Euro Kitchen, I believe it's under Anna Marie's Euro Kitchen. That's our Facebook page. You can like us, request recipes. And you can also go to YouTube. Our shows are uploaded on there. And thanks to our producer, Kelly, that does such a wonderful job doing the editing of these shows. So thank you so much, and we'll see you back. Bye-bye.